Hello, and welcome back, you guys. Thank you for joining me today on my channel. I wanted to sit down and hang out and paint a little bit with you guys today. I hope you've been enjoying the random kind of things I've been doing on my YouTube channel. Before we get into painting, I wanted to hop on here and chat a little bit on my plans and what I'll be doing before I start smoking and go nonverbal. So you're like, Hannah, we're supposed to be painting together. What do you mean you have a whole painting done behind you? I started this painting mid-December and my goal is to have it done by the end of January. Well, bitch, the clock is ticking because it's the second to last week, so like we better get to work. I feel like I can kind of pump this painting out today. I just want to redo a few areas. So, since I did start with a very abstract approach down here, I do want to fix what we got going on up top. I think it just really breaks up the cohesiveness of what this painting is. I haven't painted in a while. If you listen to my podcast, I talk about how I honestly haven't painted in 2 years, even though art is my favorite thing to do. So it was just nice to break out a canvas and just start painting whatever called to me. But I love what we have going down here with the water lilies and the horses, and I want to keep this childlike theme where it's like a very dreamy, childlike world up top, but I want to take out the realism. I'm actually very proud of the realism I did and the skin texture and color that I did, but I fear we need to paint over this whole entire top and restart it. So I'm gonna go and paint over this. I actually had a bunch of horses that were like running this way, and I think it's really beautiful because it creates this flow of movement and makes your eye flow down and then over to here. And then I want to have some sort of like bold yet abstract imagery up top just to keep it fun, exciting, bright, understandable. Like I said, thing about being an artist is your thoughts are kind of jumbled, your ideas aren't really there. You're kind of like, I had a vision 18 nights ago and it's stayed with me since, and there's some demon inside me calling to paint it, and thus I have no choice but to. And I'm really working off of those vibes, so please, if you don't understand it, don't worry, neither do I. Hopefully by the end of this, we'll understand it together. But before we get into that, I want to go ahead and smoke a little bit, let's be fucking honest. I've been painting for pretty much my entire life. I've been very artistic my entire life, one could say. And I feel like, honestly, my entire life I've really had that internal battle of, do I do art? Do I not do art? Do I do it? Financial stability, blah, blah, blah. And I really honestly just forgot about doing it for the love of it all. Like, art should be doing it for the fucking love of it all, and whatever happens, happens, because at least it's feeding your spirit. BRB. If it's feeding your spirit, that's all that matters. Terms and conditions, don't worry, I'm burning incense, okay? Ever since I was a child, I've always painted, always done art. I think my earliest memory was I became hyper-focused on the Cars movie. I mean, what child didn't, you know what I mean? But I wasn't focused on like the themes or the vibes. I mean, I guess a little bit. I was hyper-focused on trying to figure out how close can I get from TV to paper. And I would draw the same cars over and over and over and over and over again until my parents were like, did you trace this out of a book? We don't have a Cars book. And it's like, no, I was just looking at the TV drawing. That's like my first real memory as a child. And I think that says a lot, because although most people would see that act as very mundane and very boring and very analytical, I felt so connected with myself and so at peace just learning how to draw, learning how to like take what is in my head and put it to paper and create that magic in the real world. It was like my first, I was having a Rue moment, okay? I was having a euphoria, Rue high as hell on the couch moment where I was like, is this what life is? It's like me at 5 or whatever with a colored pencil in my hand. And that was the start of my artistic journey. I was in a lot of art classes growing up. I was very quickly put into some very high talented art classes growing up. I'm not even bragging, it's just like I have this weird innate natural ability where I do really enjoy art and feel called to it. So much so that freshman year of high school, my grades were so fucking bad. They were like, no, we're gonna make an exception for you and welcome, now you're a part of the Distinguished Scholars Art Group because you're that good. We're gonna overlook the C's, you know, we're gonna let her in despite her being a fucking idiot. Thank God they did, because not only did I get my grades up because I was around people who really cared about their grades, but also it gave me the tools and opportunity to really hone in and focus. By sophomore year of high school, I was doing 5 hours of art a day. I was in art classes a lot. And then, you know, senior year came around. Oh my goodness, it's time to go to art school. What do I pick? Nursing school. Nursing fucking school. Whose idea was that? Mine. Well, and also I felt this pressure from my parents. Let's be honest, all artists feel this pressure from their parents where it's like, you're not gonna pay the fucking bills, honey, okay? So I know you love art, but girl, you need a fucking Roth IRA and a 401k, and art is not gonna give it to you. And I remember having my first ever like real panic attack about my future and being like, okay, fuck it, I'll go to nursing school. Like it makes sense on paper. And in my heart, driving to nursing school that first year, I remember looking over at my dad. The back of the car is packed with all my shit, okay? Of course, I still have a special tub of all my art supplies. I looked over at him and I was like, I think I should be going to art school. And he was like, well, bitch, we've already paid for the first year, so do the best you can. At least get those undergrad credits out of the way. And guess what? I ended up dropping out of nursing school. Yeah, who could have fucking guessed that one? Anyways, dropped out of nursing school, ended up at the Art Institute in Kansas City. I found myself succeeding, and I knew in my heart that's what I needed to be doing. I needed to be doing art, I needed to be in art school. And then COVID hit. Let me hit this again. COVID hit. What a fun time. They tried to make me do online art school out of my own goddamn pocket. Still $20,000 a fucking semester or whatever. I had a very, very big scholarship, to be fair. It wasn't that much, but it didn't make sense in my brain when they're like, get on your Zoom and do screen printing at home, or try and figure this thing out at home the best you can for that much amount of money. Like, my brain wasn't computing, it didn't make sense, and so I dropped out of art school. I have not been back to college since. I don't recommend dropping out of college. I do recommend following your intuition and following through on what you actually need to know. So let my lived life experience be your lesson so you don't also have to go through it. Now, I'm very lucky that things did work out for me. I'm a very creative individual. It's how I make my money. If you don't listen to my podcast, Smoke Sesh on Spotify or anywhere you listen to podcasts, I'm a creative individual. I make money off of creative things, and I feel very lucky to do so. But I realized that I wasn't really doing what I wanted to be doing, which was painting. I haven't painted in 2 years. 2 years. I should be in a psych ward at this point in time if I haven't painted in 2 years. So my big 2026 resolution was I want to do 1 painting a month. I actually had this resolution in 2024 and I followed through on the first 3 months, fell off. Then my 2-year dry spell began. So this year I really need to focus on what's good for my soul, focus on what's good for me, and really follow through on that activity so then I do feel just more connected to myself. When people ask me where I want to be in fucking 40 years or whatever, there's many different places I could be, okay? I could be a nanny and I'd be happy. I could be a stay-at-home mom, I could be happy. I could be a high school art teacher, I could be happy. I could be a fashion designer, I could be happy. I could be like a fucking psychic you come and visit when you want to break up with your boyfriend, I could be happy. There's many different things I could be happy doing, but I think the one thing that I need to be doing no matter what is still painting. Whether it's me painting for a living, simply doing it in my backyard in my free time, whatever it is, I know it's that one thing that future me needs, and if I don't start now, she won't have it. So in dedication and honor to myself, we are going to finish this painting together. Revision, correction, it's a normal part of art. If you're not willing to adjust and correct, so then how are you going to really get where you want to go? Anyways, that being said, bitch, enough yapping. Let's get to what you guys are here for. I do most of my paintings with acrylic. I find that, yes, acrylic dries fast. You know, maybe it's a little porous if you don't gesso, you canvas. I think if you're a beginner and you want to start with painting and you want it cheap and you want it easily accessible, acrylic is the way to go. Like, let's be honest, I'm not gonna sit up here and recommend $18 paints to a beginner. Like, I'm not even a beginner and still I'm using $1 a paint bottle. So basically, to start, I'm just gonna cover up everything up top. There's a little bit of texture and white. Then I'm gonna go through with this beautiful green you see down here because I did use that as the base layer. And then we'll go ahead and work in some shapes, some feelings, some emotions. But the first thing we gotta do is paint over the top. And honestly, I'm really sad because I did put some good time into the top, but like I said, if you don't adjust to what you need to do, you'll never get where you need to go. So here we go. I'm really trying to get back to that creative process that art school taught me about. I learned as an artist who felt like they knew everything, which as an artist, you'll never know everything. I felt like it taught me some of the best and most cohesive lessons that I've ever learned. Things such as like storyboarding, really taking time to plan your paintings out. Obviously, I did not do that, but we're just doing our best. I gained so many just lessons, life lessons from art school that I'm so appreciative of. And if you are ever thinking about doing art school and art school is your passion, like art truly is your passion, like undeniably if you do anything else, there's gonna be like sadness in your heart, I do highly recommend going. I think there's so much you can learn from it and so much you can take from it no matter what you do. And don't make the mistakes I did, which is just not listening to your heart and not following through on that. That's the one biggest life lesson I've been learning recently, is just like, bitch, you know what the fuck to do. Why the fuck are you doing the exact opposite? Like, listening to yourself should not be scary, even though sometimes it is scary, because you know what's good for you. And the sooner you learn that lesson, the easier life will get. I really want to focus on just like that childlike wonder and that childlike freedom that comes with just like not having to second guess yourself. This is kind of an homage to that, like that lost childlike wonder that we are maybe trying to find or bring back as adults. So this is what we're working with here, already much better. Let's be honest. I'm going to be using this teal color. This is probably my favorite acrylic, the Liquitex Basics acrylic. And if you find your acrylic drying too fast or maybe being too thick, you can always add flow medium. This will thin it out almost to what you would consider like a really thin oil paint. It will be pretty sheer, you know, but it'll just help you kind of get paint going a little bit further or create dimension if you want. Okay, so I really like the abstract coloring we have up top. So I'm gonna pretty much consider this bottom third done and then this top eighth done. Now we just need to have something in the middle that feels cohesive. And I wanna kind of update these flowers a little bit, add a bit more color, a little bit more dimension. I think it's good, but not like amazing. I really love these horses though. I think I do want to add back in the horses up here that we're running. Might take a little bit, but I'm committed, okay, at this point. I'm gonna let this dry down for a second and then we're gonna go through with some pencil and sketch in those horses we want to draw. Okay, so that dried down and I was able to sketch in some cutie little horses. I, ever since a child, wanted to work with horses. I wanted to take horseback riding lessons. I just wanted to be around them. I grew up in kind of the outskirts of a suburban city. I kind of grew up near the farm country, out on the outskirts, best believe. Growing up, my parents always made me participate in an activity. And I mean, I always loved these activities. Usually it was soccer. I did a lot of soccer, and then piano. I started doing piano when I was 7 years old, and I continued until I was about 16 years old. And I remember one year, it just like obviously wasn't something I was passionate about, and I knew that within myself. So I said, you know what, parents, I'll do one more summer of 7 a.m. piano lessons. Okay, that's all you get out of me. One more freaking summer. But if and only if you let me start taking some horseback riding lessons. Yup, I was a negotiator from a young age. I was like, listen, we both want something out of this relationship, so let me see if I can negotiate a little bit. I waited all summer. I was like, okay, when are they gonna schedule me my lessons? They said they would. Let me bring it up. Let me ask them, hey parents, you know, have you found a barn yet? Have you found a place? Oh yeah, we're looking into it, honey, don't worry. Anyways, all of a sudden it's August, September, October, November. I'm sitting there and I'm like, motherfucker, I didn't get to do my horseback riding lessons. And it was something that I grew up always wanting to do and just never did, because I was a child who had no money. So it just wasn't in the cards for me at that point in time. I've been on a few trail rides, and I felt just this connection and this passion that I'd never felt before, and I ignored it. I ignored it for a year. Found myself at a rodeo out in Colorado with the same girlfriends, and was like, I need to be on a horse. Like, I don't know what it is about this time, what it is about that childhood, like, wonder and need and drive, but I need to be on a freaking horse. And I did. I have done about 8 months now of horseback riding lessons, and it is so much fucking fun. It is so much fucking fun. It's so nice to learn alongside like animals that will teach you the right ways to behave. You know what I mean? They are not afraid to make their feelings known. There's a lot of respect that comes through it. There's a lot of understanding of self, of your body, of your mind that comes through it. And it has been completely life-changing to not only finally listen to that childlike self and that childlike wonder, but to also follow through on it. Okay, I got my horsies done. I kind of did it. I'll probably touch this up later, so just stay tuned for the final result. But I wanted to kind of, the ones down here a little bit more realistic like these, and then keep the ones up here a little more like childlike or simple. I like the duality of it all. And then here, I like this color gradiency. I might add a couple more things up here later on. But I really like this color gradiency. I think I'm gonna add the face still. Okay, I got the face done, and honestly, this is probably going to be the last bit of painting I do for the day. Obviously, I'm not done with it. I need to do more detail work, more shadow work, and honestly, maybe just add some more stuff to the top half. But the thing with painting, creativity in general, is sometimes you get this artist blindness where you're like, more, I need to do this, I need to do that. You get a little frustrated with yourself and start getting impulsive. And when you are painting, you don't want to be impulsive. You want to be pretty level-headed. Of course, you want to take risks and trials and tribulations, because sometimes that will pay off. But I know when I get to the point where I'm like, okay, let's take a breather, let's take a step away. Obviously, I've been looking at it too long. Let's come back tomorrow with a fresh pair of eyes. Thus kind of the idea of, well, I'll just do one a month, so then I can like paint one day, go a couple days, paint the next day, go a couple more days. So I have about 2 weeks that I can finish this up, so I have plenty of time. I just know I'm getting that blindness where it's like, I don't want to add too much, I don't want to go crazy, and I definitely have some crazy ideas, so let me sleep on it. My wrists are getting tired, like let me give it a little break. But where we got now, I think, is such a better place than where we started. I think that realism definitely just did not chunk up the painting correctly. I don't know if I'll add the sword. I think maybe not, but we'll see. But I do like just the energy we have going here. I feel like it flows really well visually, where you're constantly being drawn to different places. It's like, oh, the face draws you down to these horses, which draws you down to these flowers, which draws you up to these horses, and then you're popping over here because the pop of color. I want to maybe, you know, fix up these hills, do something texturally. But where I am now, I do honestly feel really good, and it was so nice just to sit down today and paint for a couple hours. It's honestly one of my favorite things to do that's like meditative, that I can do daily. So hopefully, I don't know, I inspired you guys to sit down and engage in a fun little activity, whether it's arts and crafts, whether it's painting, whether it's sewing, whether it's, I don't know, simply cleaning your house. I don't care what you're doing, just do it for yourself and make sure you have your priorities straight and you're following your intuition. That's all that matters, love. But stay tuned. I think I'm gonna post the final image on Instagram, so follow me there at Hannah Marlene. If you want to listen to my podcast, if you like my ramblings, girl, I ramble a lot. Come listen anywhere you have your podcast. It's called Smoke Sesh. And if you want to see more from me, if you like my random content, if you want to know what I'm inspired by, or honestly anything about me, I post on the Patreon quite a bit. You can come join at patreon.com/smokeseshshawty. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. Hopefully I inspired you, because you guys inspire me every single week to show up as my best self and to be a little bit more bold and adventurous with my life. So cheers to that. Stay sane, stay sexy, and I'll see you all so soon. Mwah!